Yaba munyina mwache mu makwaba emfa emra bedwem so. Yada so agebre na oguso ehwe Adom TV. Live on DSTV, Go TV, Multi TV, Multi Choice so yeah live and so yes stream on all our social media platforms from Facebook to YouTube. Maybe I could be searching for Adom TV. Medin de akwasi insia. Enkomo ya eba bedin ne anope penifo atenase. Yere enkomo ba shes. Ma menkwa man so kodi enkomo tabra. Na patch video na ready awaba. Na see aye compilation of ye mabunu ya enum enubone. Na weba se video na ready a. Me ne ahwefo yenhwe video ni se. Hwe na see video yi. Video no Eddie I'm Masuna Mene Deputy Director General Edman Cortis Control Commission Chumberima and Coachy and Como Council Mike to and Cam watch and pay a Baby Jemso. Yeah, said Wajib ready medi and Como. Na me name say about you more attention. The rate at which a mabuno and nom sa unim red the netra more near the adeno. I know ya yedium. What specific measures pa na Cortis Control Commission dey go akwemu to curtail this issue?
Okay. Well, an apprehension come out was measures in there. So I want to say you buy you. And running yams 2 months in office. Yes, you are going to an running 2 months. But within the last few weeks, there have been series of arrests. Yet pharmacy operators. And then that even non-pharmacy operators are almost ready in pubs, in pharmacies, among others. And they are all in court. You don't know court. But in here, because there was a American, you know, so and just a mouse. But you have a lot of intels on so many pharmacies, so many people at the tongue that in the we double check and triple check in the year ever to be influence and use and then we strike it. And we are really fighting and chasing people. By the grace of God, we are going to meet the pharmacy council also. Because you have say according to the extent that any pharmacy here but you have pick one. We give it to the pharmacy council to also deal with you on even if what required is they give you license from you. And just about, I think last week, there's a pharmacy in Lebanon. You're ready, you're picking Babel 4 from that pharmacy. Almost so, you don't want I put in a quarter, no more than codeine, ready, any other advantage, unapproved or, non-permitted drugs are in the shop.
Okay. So, much is our pharmacy for now? You are not motivation behind selling unim red nitramoy.
There's no motivation, but the secret employee is that because they know that the end of the bonnet, what they don't display on their counters.
Okay.
Obien why actually not the anything the counters. Women now as a box, we must about women at the corner, they know their customers. And funny enough, they one more customers in one more tomorrow, into not a name to them and a counter, one not only a new or they go to those that they know that when you of the you may pay into a moment for the person to serve you more hair. That is the funny thing. Is it that you have even displayed the thing on your counter? Now we have said that you can buy women for funny children without anybody. It's so that
it was a collaboration between Ministry of Health, by extension Ghana Health Service. Senebe ya amanfo a edisa enwe eba mamuno ye betimi esi ano kwan even from our port.
Okay, so the collaboration here is not just with the Ministry of Health. We are collaborating and interestingly, you're in board no. We are most of the agencies being having their reps on our board.
Okay.
And it includes FDA. FDA chief executive or a rep from with the director level is supposed to represent the chief executive on our board. You were a rep from Yoko, you were a rep from police, you were a rep from the army, you any other day. And we have a strong collaboration with them. Just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we paid a courtesy call on the FDA chief executive. Cost strengthening your relationship with them, and also revisit the fact that as one we are doing it with them. So we need their full support and their full collaboration. And to almost add to share to my port data general, another GPA data general, beginner general, 10. You know, about 3 weeks ago, so I want also reinforcing your relationship with them and your operation or port towards somebody. It's my no friction, but it will sail smoothly. Gradually, every agency, we have money boom, we are with them. And I can say, sir, so far so good.
Heberase. Alexander Yachumberema, Deputy Director General at the Narcotics Control Commission. Now, I'm just saying, na see video compilation. The head name Ebuno. That's like I said, na see. For putting up this compilation. Now that one video. But I continue to ask myself, Mpensenpensenmu amokra say nrede ba omaimu. Moshe mrana ebrana ye mano enum nroi edenemu a. Enti ana ye mofe. Enti ana ye mofe. Woni se enya de papenti. Ena susua pa wonam kwati kwan so. Umfa kra nsi o share. Enyo. Yes, say ye mabunu no. It mushe videos na ye may enum say no boni ya mo credible memu. Eti ya na ye mo fe. Sika hia nti ye pe na sase we so a. Yes, say obiba. Show TV so hwe. Eye dienko, Esremo. Afre ya doso dodo. Eya doso too much. Bebia befe bia wunya emabune se ebinum sa ready so unim ready o se unim die yo. Esremo. Emesika pebebrebe enni wanim sa. Then say obi badachi. Eti wa akufa bi ba ya akwada bi atobi a wo no ma wo hwe no TV so na akwada hwe ono no aye. Eti ye ofe. Wa ye ofe. Na no ayi Fiesta Royal honum ono bi ono pepa glass edim wada setam. E wo bi kaso. Eyefe. Abiyafo atrase. Fana seke se kuma mortar Guinness makacho se anonom de ne mu ede kama ahoden ewom ne nwanenduro ahyemuma mortar Guinness eno nko na ede anim da bia makacho se no nko ne anonom de a se kom do pa na wadwane nya ready a no mfa bo ase ebetimi ahodu be se 30 minutes kra se no wadwane kra ye ready ko se nwanno na ewom no ano de papa ebo ne padwane so ewiabo gidigidi ya mpaso ya no wa chele ne kakra bi na mu se wi anda fo ya mpacho de nom ne saa eye kama da bia so to aka wo so be hwe se proudly made in Ghana sticker no ebo ho se bi obi ento adebone emfa ema mortar Guinness yes say we move happy birthday enko efama mama ya do di etare for Mrs. Kujo ene wawoda you wish you all the best nyame onhyiraw na onyo kese ko so be ye kese pa we firi ukunu obusua omma ewo obisi nyankopon emma ontaba mu nyeden na mo aso nyeden fantia watamfo nyame nhyiraw happy birthday enko enfama Richard Anyaba Director of Communications the ma NPP amoyuko ni watrase sanso na a Champions to God MP for Bekum West and so atrase that I'm watching.
Me home ya. I'm the me who dey be auntie no. Na me say be who unti unso hu me. Da nya no kore. Ai, and you dey hu me. Da me hu da.
Ba say we party boko.
Ah, but party boko.
Office boko.
Boko how kakra na aba Ghana. Yes, December 7 I buy a kotuye. Ankoye. Ankoye. 120 days in H3. Debbie.
So about still got constituency say.
Nyame Adom. Constituency Boko.
Is which 100 days you?
Aye,
Are you keeping to your promise?
Oh, sure. Sure.
You're keeping to your promise.
Sure.
Yeah.
Constituency Boko.
So far, name 3 priorities here back as no. 3. What's me I say?
Normal eguso in all fronts. I was say Osha agriculture key.
Yeah.
Maka ho asem.
Yeah.
Na CCIA ka say Oko Brekum Wester. Ghana ha nyina, and for that matter we are looking at even West Africa. Sa fruit na ye freno soursop alugwen to gwen.
Yeah.
The biggest in Ghana farming, honestly say, Yashasiye, investor free US aba or year juma. Massive one. I was see Medobeko Amwako he when this was there. I'll going to go fish farming together near there. A farming now you say Brekum West, you take it to different level. Ashasiye, Sabra make say, and tomato. Ghana, we are among the top 5 districts you produce tomato. In fact, your estimate say Brekum West with right financial injection, irrigation systems, all season round tomato production, we can produce 200 metric tons or more every year, enough to save the country over $200 million. You import tomatoes. Free Burkina Faso and other countries. And she tomato farmers, about 5,000 people, you put them into cooperatives. Nyankopon Ministry of Agric, irrigation systems and we stand to benefit. Na irrigation na ye all year round. Na ye nya financial support. In fact, currently, your farmers borrow between 30, 35, and 40% interest. It is support. Rate be 10, 15, even 20%.
Yeah.
You will see. And because on that front, a normal air cost. Over infrastructure, your major challenge, Jine Sampa Road, the almighty Jine Sampa Road. Road Minister Abaho. Meetings are also stakeholders involved, and I'm very confident NCBA contractor Sampa major. In fact, a Katia across 6 different constituencies. The entire stretch is 119. But baby, I say Atatia Pansama Yahmoshia Enye from Jine Brekum West through Drobo, German South to Sampa, German North. 80 kilometers. The ama contractor, akase contractor no, be mobilize to me across site. That one is also going on. Jekwasi normal air coso e wo Brekum West. The best ready say ye nyina benya abotre ama omampanyini. Na promises are why ye nyina no. Within the next 4 years, we will transform Brekum West. And I can see my being used to this medium once again. In fact, Uko Brekum West at the moment. There is no district because or litigation-free land at Brekum West. Tomato vegetables. Top. Eba serious and also a bro. Ye beer in huge quantities. And investors are on better moko into farming or munya challenges beyond. That is the place. But as a somebody omonishe.
But I say.
And I'm become some. I'm saying, oh my MP, Emma, Ninchia, oh my, presentation. But good. Didn't I say Ghana Koso?
Oh yeah.
But the other is a mobile, a munya.
120 days.
And 120 days. I knew a munya. Yeah. But the pipe na Emma Ghana for my Nyadaho. Now the way I say because you John the Money Mahama Part 1 any a car part 2 about as a bibia basa. Look, I'm by energy crisis. I may ever come was yeah. President, and didn't answer. Oh, we need diplomatic community in Pennyforms. The last year, the Kaipa vividly. The High Commissioner for Canada, the Koshia, no or Casa, and all castigate by that, no, I say, showing so mobile on the bois, Amanio Marcoso. As I near Koichi Bibre, their energy minister or Kayate. But I be seen Neno. A buying we, I know who say, own tea Ghana for. And now, maybe, will be frame. I mean, in a casa, no catch me say. I dare betray the need in the crown wonya. Now, where you be, I know ye juma. And this year, bye. Was suffer retrenchment. And President John Dramani Mahama.
Just end this by ye unity.
Part of the revocations. Okay. Ya cancer say me amu di agro. About 30,000 people.
30,000
or even more people
and they suffer.
Essence I must say omo space ama NDC for soldiers masa and omo ban so mo promise here ti ya se when they say one na wo ba so wo be create nyuma aban o te so ntumi create nyuma na nyuma wa create no wo essence wo pe edwuma ma onkrofo nti wa ba be yi omo e wo ho na free ho na edwuma na wo share boss wo be create na wo he 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy. I said, I didn't know say can you pay beer because I did ways to cry. Nabako sem woho. President Mahama can say or the by election or the candia a man for a bear man for the no matter about. And yet the end could have to be. Until they are that Ghana for so 24-hour economy. Libra or tell some more cano practical say be a fish farm anyway. No more minimum microphobia they are into a or that area. These are cano kure. Adada and NDC for the budget. Energy sector as my babakai. Look, much of the problem I owe that sector NDC for creation. President Mahama creation.
That about 68
all the
billion.
IPP and contract almost signed in a problem or more I would think that may share document natural. But I'm sure say IMF document be now say all the contracts now NDC for signing, all the power sector agreement on signing. They are bad contracts. They are the reason why we are in this situation. And 120 days of NDC are buying. Unfortunately, no, I say Ghana for abutre or door your pay mind say be ye intino abamba yes okay a friend brofumu goodwill say den can you say na I mean me and kana man for who say at the end side no a false high.
Okay.
I say it just at the end to chenkora that will do you know. Now one ball of brapa and some more cars of Oban one yes I say 18 to cockroach because by the way President Mahama buy Korano and ya buy I say enjoy goodwill be because Oba about baby I will know by catcher say he will hit the ground running and he will hear goodwill be what I say but and now some no can say Ghana for bread. Ebre me say me no kasa no sa de kura no na before President Mahama babeji akonya no kura no criticize Akufo-Addo mismanage energy sector near there and then we kept the light on at a higher tariff what I say at a higher tariff we kept the light on or admit say we kept the light on and then we want to make keep the light on no but no one to say we kept the light on but at high tariff or cancer the way in December 2024 oba ye dey no why buying a tariff or the cost for more and the cost
for me to we na supreko
what do I say
the energy sector issue no minister say you will be near one bit me for the next best 2.6 days and omakra about 400,000 liters of LOC yeah share me say ba be drew and there let me also and man you hear about 1 billion Ghana cedis Aban Mukubiti said Ghana Water Company Limited Edeka for 7 months. Almost 1 billion Ghana cedis. You're more NGI. To win some of the huge debt that one more. Ama ECG, I want to trade them. But do so, dear. On Senya dear become.
Now, some no custom now who the opposite said do so, but there's not before bad. There's some okay, and I say just a creative panic. I say What you say? Say uncle fa how be abre na wo and I was saying no na wo opposition was say oh aban ye to abama wa and be lamenting and be whining cause of problem no and I mention the was no abe energy minister George upon abe energy friends energy minister and a green transition unia Sabrofo no kan dano say oh you are elected you have to solve the problem don't come and whine. Nti some of 2.6 ne yen fanye den. De here na light no e be ba na say emba. But the ehui light na mba. And na we do me light be see ne. And opai on to mashe bata carry because I know they won here so beto so. Am dey assign me come.
Another do so.
Be dem na say.
Oh.
What dey say? Enti Sabrofo mo keka opposition abedu ha no. De no mo de ye. Senka be honest to Ghana ha ohun. Energy sector no and say politicizing.
Okay.
Because issues are what sector hon. Are practical matters. From generation to transmission to distribution and to consumption hon. A hon especially distribution and consumption. The loss now at a transmission point, you know. Even though it's very high, I think the current estimate is about 30% transmission loss.
Yeah.
Compared to other countries, I estimate about 8 or 9%. You know. Yeah, you know, is high, but transmission loss and then nebra distribution on. ECG, ne consumption. Yeah, okay, be say companies say oh, I enjoy. One of the biggest issue is the collection of the utility amount for use. In terms for use electricity now to me engines can a buying problem to what extent? So it's a matter of ensuring efficiency and holding ECG accountable. But what I say, and ensuring say all state agencies, ministries, and departments omutia bills. Ubia wontia no dumre dia. Now ECG nankasa so are more efficient in terms of metering. There's a lot of corruption within the ECG enterprise now. They know about it. So fix that problem. But what I say, where low-hanging fruit, I bet to me and then actually the estimate now is about ECG is losing about 2 billion, okay, every month. You understand? And side way, these are low-hanging fruits because say Omo IPPs na generating power about my ECG a distributor. ECG na say Giscan. Na editor.
Sure.
Say ECG and Giscan and find to amwa. The debt will be there. But what I say. So those are low-hanging fruit. I say you fix it. Say here and then we can fix that. But one of the issue I think say NDC4 and normal creating. Yes, the contract, the nature of the contract. And okay, now you do me light into na me yes I will do some research on that. Do you understand why I say got buying and a top fuel? Emma IPPs. Do you understand why?
Okay, so it's part of the contract.
Yes, what I say. Why I didn't because sign our contract? But why would somebody sign that contract?
Okay, was it also not a way, say, send a bit of price and a bit of them could too much for the consumer?
Only anti-price
because at the end of the day, say, Ujaima IPPs, no, SO and 24.
Yeah.
And another build up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be passing on to the consumer.
Yeah.
Now, and then we are paying an increment of 14.7% on electricity. So it means, say, if Sebia Kenya are buying a ticket that part now, would have been paying more than a 14% increment now can assembly.
As I make it say contract now will sign.
Okay.
Our committee so better fuel. I will name say the market, the reason I will take on who feel is about my price now also.
Yeah.
But what they say.
Sure.
But so who take his contract and now who take his over provide fuel now. The fuel now abana be a fluctuation in terms of currency anyway. Who take that responsibility? Who could just get away?
Okay.
A commercial agreement.
To a more dimia fashion the forest.
Fashion hono na yem make sure say
a price increase.
Because at the end of the day, no, at the end of the day, no, what's the whole problem? But all the commercial come.
Okay.
So it's a lazy man's contract or Marco signing to say, me pese cost the cost into me provide fuel. No. Into we provide for all buying our catcher say aka 2.6 days no. Then only enfanya day. But what you say?
Okay.
Nti obia one na call contract say on be provide electricity. Nti na chere say ono na equipment you can buy. Over to fuel amano. Fuel is the one of the biggest apart from the equipment in itself now. Machinery a power no. Annual power.
Yeah.
Fuel is the major input. This is why I talk about ni petrol. Car no faso ni saying. Into omo the car na be see here. Ade dey be top petrol gum. Ema on. Into omo wie so omo charge ye. Edu baby na ya tofu ama omo kura omo say ye produce ade ni bio. Anya na your friend say car power for akaya say omo say ye dey omo ka 400 million. Contract na ye bad NDC for ade omo ye.
The IPP's contract.
IPP contract be omo akoside they say ye na be provide fuel. I mean tiase krada. If they had held them, because in California they are commercial people. But what they say,
okay.
They are commercial people. And to a commercial interest, no more provide service amawa. Factor it and see, say, are they were boami and asem boami. And saying this is forward near so only you had cover IPP buy and the power badges need their say. It is the easiest thing. Said there will be ama osika. Onia. He is come out say ko market na koto kodi dwabra. The difficult part of the whole relationship no. Eh say obenye sika no. Eh say ko market akoto ade de. Na de be yan so betra ka mu no akọ market wo. Na wo hu bebi ade no wo.
Yeah.
Wo ni sika betumi ehu bebi ade no wo ba wontumi nkoto me bo a. Enti no say the problem is not bringing the people. The problem is about deliberating properly say we benefit Ghana for. It is our contract and it's very bad. And then I has said, President Mahama say in December no only diplomatic community for the Kasano. He mentioned say one of the reasons why our electricity bill are costly. I said we are using more liquid fuel.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of using gas. And to what you basic then? Have they increased the usage of gas? Because omo the boy wants of for the boy Safini say omo na dey atoabo gas ni dey buy. Into ma ba say no omo increase yana.
Oh say be.
No me ba. I was say
it be a 5 months there. Too early to call on government to
have
such a huge investment into gas.
Massa. Asem we no eya ye nyai ka.
Too early.
Ye nyai ka. Na too early no buy no awaka say o too early no buy into on salary.
Or salary no. Or allowance
90 day
or fuel no
or yeah adwuma no a was say too early ne say masa say emfa dey say high theater na nipa da ho
yeah
and I say save no nkwa na doctor bia be gira no ho say 4 months emfa a month bia say hour o ma betena so a month bia hour
okay
na wo nipa na da ho baga say we say na oba enti dan adwuma no mo ba be no mo nim it's not as if say they don't know about governance but what they say. And are the systems in place so omo say omo afa manifesto amba na manifesto re say they have divine solutions for the problems and that's what guy
because na know you want one na
they be masa say o ba kura nchia kura di be one hour nchia kura di be 1 hour to what they say
okay
omo akwa yes I dey we oba ye criticism omo and now you use liquid fuel until na ma akosoro nti eneno President John Dramani Mahama ono na abeto ne energy ministry transition green transition
yeah
wo share your energy mix ni mu a friend is saying solar
yeah
it contributes about only 2%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne ye ba no what our immediate plan was to increase that but eneno me hunu dia omo ye afasa die about 10%.
To bring on board more solar to control the amount of liquid fuel they use to power some of our plants.
Yeah, so generally speaking, say we'll increase it in terms of the mix, 2% contribution in terms of power to the grid, low solar is contributed by that too. It means recent year. The biggest part is about 60%, which is the thermal source.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. And the hydro is about 30 or 35 or something like that. And you know, why say, oh, no best of a problem, no, and what criticize you be a now or keep light on. At a rate cheaper than said the electricity. No, I go for kept the light on cheaper than John Dramani Mahama is giving us doom so.
Without being political, do you think say you will doom some?
Oh, they kind. Some catch up my medical natural. The entire me share a batakari and they say you do me light and now.
You will doom some.
An old friend is saying.
Okay.
What I say? And the point we are making, and they say, Minister, and they say, oh, here 1.1. I mean, who they're reporting? Is it 1.1 billion or 1.1 million billion?
1.1 billion
CDs or dollars?
CDs.
Okay, some of the reports are saying dollars. Yes, I think it's dollars.
Oh,
so 1.1 billion dollars. Enti saskawi edikoto fango ama IPPs no.
Okay, yeah.
So, but 1.1
billion dollars.
Say yamfanye electricity maye. The electricity we are a canon. But that got massa. I am a say. How do we sign a contract like this? Only how do we sign a contract? Say the contract ni be quite be so crown and mass. Fuel cost here. I buy net 1.1 billion here or here. They are contract. I buy the subsidy crown and my Ghana for crown. Can buy that? Because
so aside buying the 1.1 billion dollars liquid fuel, no?
Yes.
IPPs no saka. For generating the
power. Into omo de na somebody chance na besi ho.
No more than one.
Somebody no ade no. Na yan ne electricity na e. Yeah. Issues no. We no, I think I agree with you. Say you can depoliticize it. Unfortunately, NDC for no esuban na akofa we nyina ba na ye kan akwa politics. But omanamo omo 2 year the IPPs contract ye almost sign. It is very poor.
Okay.
Very, very poor. And to my baby, I almost say, President Mahama say, gas in a year better. No, yeah, if you better transition to the gas. No,
okay.
Say, the cost will come down.
Sugar.
Agazi, means I'm chill and what you for. And the good people of Brekum West.
What did you say?
Quickly, let me deal with few issues. Few issues. Few issues. Let me tell you this. On a lighter note, okay. For some of us, you share batakari as a ceremonial cloth. Okay. Not because you say, let's say, man and denigrate batakari.
No.
The impression created say when ya iron, but for us
there be any iron light. Light because light
lighter, but for some of us, okay. That person ye bedroom.
Cheap politics.
Yeah, man for ehunu rich culture. Okay. Now because I mean interviews, major events. Elegantly.
When the customer jai,
man and yes, batakari ataria. Hear them and I share no. That is just by the way. 120 days are quickly now all come one no probably on here no more of course within the first 120 days. Okay. Because that's not the subject for this morning. Yeah. But within the first 120 days, and fuel prices keep going down and then go down by 5%. Within the first 120 days, and on Mampenyin finance minister and Tisha Papa, ama dollar. Adriane from 16, 15, 14, 13, and now 12.8. Atiba from declining day in, day out. Within this 120 days. Within this 120 days. And I ne come secondary school, so I want my constituency. Secondary school. St. Augustine's, as they say, Omunyan we are papa di, yet decentralize a school feeding. Within the first 120 days, and ye den hye gu akwan mu say ye be depend decentralization ama your assembly members atumi contribute meaningfully by resourcing them. So a number of interventions and ye can oman impuntu economy. Agwasu be jatum say there are 2 important ingredients I to mean from fuel prices and exchange rates. So 2 key areas in 120 days sign it here. I leave it out to the jurists out there. But quickly, yemra energy sector issues. Na me reminded me say onimua ye gas eye planta ye wo Ghana hado. Eye under President Mahama, President Mills, and I ye de buy.
No, I just said that someone about
8 years. One year anything about it. 5 months into office, President assigned Integrity Implementation Committee a second gas plant. That will save us $500 million in 2 years in terms of liquid fuel. And your case, President Mahama, just last week, 4 days ago, Implementation Committee for second gas plant has been inaugurated. So that is the fact. I will say, you clarify. Be energy sector, no? And you know, you cannot approbate and reprobate. At one point in time, Osama politicized it. At another point in time, he was politicizing. I totally agree. Say energy sector issues should not be politicized, but let us look at the facts on the ground. Or can it be about IPPSR? President Mahama is signing the solve energy crisis and war. One of the major interventions was a Mary. And a Mary in over 5 years period, you have $510 million. Plant and about a year. And they claim say those agreements you sign and ye papa. $510 million for 5 years. A Bayer Ghana plant. Ye two about President Mahama free kunyasono. And Guachia Jako. MPP by one of the first energy interventions of they say America, you know, review from 5 years and Franco 15 years and pay $1.3 billion. Come to think of it, 500 million, 5 years, plant na Bayer Ghana there. Mosi and you, more review no, you review it 15 years, 1.3 billion, and on the TJA, Guachia Ejuma Bono. But I sympathize with him because powers are they pushing the money. Actually, we granted several interviews. Actually, so this is one significant issue. I was saying this is what is NPP for can be before IPPS, independent power producers contractor you sign a now. This is the situation. 80 contracts I must say 8 years. Mobile and the moye far home. The moye far home is say you were rather increasing the duration and the cost. Adia enyeno enti enyeno kre that say IPPS aye sign enye. Akwasi ye ka energy issues so ye musa say from 2013, 2014, 2015 now ye install capacity ye saying in energy sector.
Maybe na raise concern here. Say ya sent it to say a buying a better for the IPPs no some fanua power no and famaye.
So what
is where
what is the difference?
There's a challenge.
What is the difference? Say may the contractor amount.
Okay.
For equipment, for expertise, come and run, buy fuel and bail me to pay. Bring your equipment, I will provide you fuel. We take the cost of the fuel out of the contract. What difference does it significantly make? Because I buy the to me and your fuel cheaper than say supplier no deba.
No.
So that is the difference. Enti abusuafo no krebie ni say IPPS are signing ye and am a problem at that time and na me busa no. What was the installed capacity of our energy in Ghana? In fact, in the energy sector, we have generation, we have transmission, we have distribution. If you don't generate, you don't transmit. If you don't transmit, you don't distribute. So key starting point, a generation. At that point, the generation capacity was far, far lower than the demand. So the quick fix was to bring in the generation. Now, we have 5,700 installed capacity. And the dependable capacity is 5,200. Let me explain. You can't install capacity, any dependable capacity. The dependable capacity is what the plants can reliably you will 5,007, but reliably we can generate 5,000 enough. And senior can be. These are put into 3 categories. We have the hydro, Akosombo Pom, Bui. Am I just 28%? Then we have the renewables, solar, just 2%. And thermals, am I 70%? Let's look at the mathematics here well. So thermal, am I 70%? I rely on gas and liquid fuel. Liquid fuel, no wedding, any diesel, money, heavy fuels, gas, no, cheaper. Anti-president, abanya or drain your energy security, when buy and build a gas plant. Say you use gas now, reduce, but we don't have enough to power. So we need more gas plants. I buy no free power after 4 years, or be about 8 years, one build a single gas plant. Or no, see, or no, else of we. Then the same person has come back in 5 months, is building another gas plant. So this is the government or what plans to solve our energy problems. When we didn't have install capacity, we brought gas plants to reduce cost of fuel. Now we are back on that. Don't forget, say President Mahama, ESLA by energy sector levy. Na yede solve energy sector debt eguho. Yenuamu MPP for resisted fiercely. President Mahama free power no. ESLA was extended for another 5 years. And now you talk about energy sector debt. Why the accumulative debt? The debt of $1.7 billion now, out of which car power is owed $400 million. And your monk asogly $300 million. Senate 220. Send power about 400. 1.7 billion. No. AIPPS the whole energy sector debt. The whole energy sector debt is in excess of 2 billion. As our debt, debtor, the previous government, and this government has to deal with this debt. Or deal with this debt. And at the same time, you need to also provide fuel. And the year we need about $15 billion. In fact, at the moment, about 1 billion, 1.1 Nana Minister can to avert imminent danger. And thankfully, or you are to forcing a dynamic a year John Jinapo. Stakeholders, a share, a to me at as we speak, yet there's been interventions. I averted a situation where the energy sector issues there. Your best say, Yenuamo, the Kenya Sama, make us a money moral right because your challenges are your one in ano. And I can see, I dear laughable, say. During 8 years, I do a model bomb, Sabrani, and say, you buy electricity, yam to more than 20%. Okay, can you boom and 20-30%? Because what are you telling me? Then you leave the debt as our energy sector. In fact, debt, that is what we call legacy debt. And you one government over the years. And you need government obey, gather courage, and confront to issue. No? President Mahama confronted the issue head on by introducing ESLA. Make us say ESLA is one of the major reasons why we lost 2016 elections because energy sector, people were complaining. But he dealt with it. And Obaye, he is confronting the situation head on. It is situation you find it yourself, Sabri, ask. 8 years install capacity send on the bekan. 8 years interventions be on the in terms of gas processing. 8 years. How much did they take away from the legacy debt? Nothing in energy sector, and they've handled very horrendous, very horrible energy sector picture. In fact, I can see Ufriha Kofa Energy Sector Statistical Report for 2025 and read amount what transpired over the years. And in fact, amount full picture from the year 2000 to 2024. And look at 2017 to 2024. And you weep for Mother Ghana. In the energy sector, crisis like a womb, the previous government has bequeathed to this government. Because I talk with energy issues with passion. because my PhD is in sustainable energy management. So I know these issues, I follow closely. And that is why we are here. And President Mahama, as he said, is not here to lament, but to deal with the issues. And you talk about the gas. In December, you talk about, say, the way to go. And to increase, in fact, what happened in 8 years when our Renewable Energy Act says by 2030, we should increase our renewable energy component to at least 10%. Yeah. And now here too, in 8 years, you didn't do anything about this. And here you are complaining. It is in your mesre for energy sector issues. You started very well. So it is about time we depoliticized energy sector issues and confront them head on. You bet your rates are a bit to me. Otherwise, I was issue I want to say. If you go to my constituency, one transformer has several communities and can be 3 transformers. But Netco will tell you they don't have money. Obsolete transformers from a boy and lights echo off. And yet about one particular government, about over the years, lack of investors. Sika ECG here to change their obsolete equipment, they are not getting. Sika VRA here, they are not getting. The Netco here, they are not getting. Private partners or more IPPS and Obia Jumana $400 million. You are not paying $400 million. How can they sustain the work when they have workers to pay, they have overheads, they have bank loans to clear? And the question is, stakeholders, let us come together. Say 1.7 you owe IPPS. Because we are buying now private sector, you are killing the economy because the private sector is the engine of the economy. And power independent power producers. Do you know number of people they employ? So if you are not paying them, they shut down and they lay workers offer. Or makers are buying, we buy at workers. Kofi. So let us sit down and see how we can deal with the situation. And you need a very focused, very committed government or person or buana energy security. But say can you be about yet me compare you and I time your electricity in 10%, mobile matum 14%, so more to more. The question is the debt accumulation. Who are you accumulating the debt to come and deal with? It is about time, and I think that President Mahama and our energy minister, supported by the finance minister, they're taking decisive action. And in the coming years, by the time of President Mahama, 4 years, Besono, you will see that we'll be getting closer to the energy security we've been craving for. And I think the bad energy matters are President Mahama and NDC government. Over the years, check from President Rawlings' time, say a generation, why I'm on a generation capacity in terms of efficiency, in terms of everything. So let us deal with that. And no nama or no eka say ECG, for instance, every month shortfall of about 2 billion Ghana cedis. No buying. So what is the way to go? Then the government is exploring avenues to say you bring private participation to ensure collection. And I can see your issues, goes beyond politics. Apart from shortfalls in revenue collections, transmission losses. If you go to Gridco, transmission losses. If you go to ECG distribution, transmission thereby, or more distributed to homes, illegal connections near there. So we are losing so much, and we need to improve efficiency, and that is not politics. So that is why some of us support private participation.
Privatization.
Because participation in these matters to ensure efficiency. He himself said, under their government last year, 2024, do you know they spent 24 billion Ghana? There was shortfall of 24 billion Ghana cedis. AFI 2025 projection said there will be shortfall of about 30 billion Ghana cedis.
ECG.
ECG. So I cannot buy in a way because cannot buy how to offset, otherwise the lights will be off.
Okay.
Let us depoliticize energy matters, and for once, let all political class come on the table with the professionals, the stakeholders. Now you find a lasting solution to the energy issues.
What am I main council? Me brother say okay. Also or PhD energy. Remember, be see be few ho, but and that DNA can. Okay, Masa. They have to take responsibility.
That's what we are taking.
They don't take responsibility. Because I can't won't take responsibility. I won't take as I say opposition. Masa, me no ti hey, emre bi atwa mu no. Na me obaye mu. And na your opposition.
Yeah.
Ejuma na be di side. Wo se obeye. Ye ejuma no abe kasa wo kan. Masa won ka he. Me ba o de my o de yo match. O de ase. Kasa nko no mo de ade na ye. Hwe ade ba kwa nisi fo ni mu ye. E kasa. Kasa say kasa pa. A wontiaka. Wo biwa, wo boss reba do aka. Nisi fo ni mu ka. And then omode abaye amamu no. O dey say, o say 120 days, ade aye hu ye cross ye hu. Wanka say ye amanfo edi efi adwuma mu. Sa ade no, wanka. Eno no anya 120 days mu na si. President Mahama na December o kasa Akufo-Addo increase electricity cost. Eno na ma otumi ma light no e da so no. Endi nansa ono no abe increase electricity no.
Or say IMF.
So can now when you say IMF,
no, President Mahama never complained about increased cost in energy. He said you were not paying the IPPS. That was the issue.
Also for Medbetro,
you were not paying them.
No.
You were accumulating the debt for another government.
Oka say the only reason Akufo-Addo to be keeping the light on is because we increasing tariff. Now Ghana, if you look at ATS I buy no ATS I buy. They want to increase electricity bill per more. We haven't increased electricity as much as you guys have done. So that one is a matter of public record. But on or criticize you be no. Say what to me keep light no on. Say the panel ya Akufo-Addo MPP no. We have
but let's clarify. President Mahama didn't take a position say Omo sustain light because of increasing. That has never. No,
I should show you evidence.
Yes, that has never been. Yeah. Problem and I want to say.
You were not
paying independent power producers, and you were accumulating the debt.
Richard,
Ghana got a year was a shuttle for maintenance works. Now you defer that.
See,
you defer that.
When
Ghana gas was due for maintenance, didn't they defer that?
You see. But the American say, I'll read it. You can read it. You can read it. The point is, you see, gas assembly all can. So the committee, meeting committee, be awesome. You can scroll down. It's you see.
Okay.
Committee assembly. Meeting what? Say I said the committee be a gas plant. What? Meeting. Okay. It is not about building the gas plant.
No, because I'm going to want to.
Now, what? What I say?
Okay.
It's not about building the plant.
Okay.
It's about getting the gas to go to the plants. That infrastructure, no. The reason here Atwabu by amount to me, almost here Atwabu. The company that was doing it.
Check any of this.
Insisted say. So almost to me see they will sell the gas. I beg you. They will sell the gas to the IPP contracts no signing in.
Okay.
Or take gas. That was the basis of building Atwabo. So they will take the gas, and when they take the gas, cost of electricity will come down. But we will see gas, now the gas, gas yes one good contain the alcohol from the idea. You have to pass it through pipeline. The infrastructure is not there. And you just say, and you say, I also was set a committee. Say, yes, Uncle see gas planter. The question is, committee ben was set at the alcohol.
Okay, a committee chaired by the deputy energy minister.
No problem. May say, you see gas in one. You see, huh?
Okay.
It has to move to
and
the source.
let me clarify. This committee and yet feasibility committee, they've done implementation, so you can even read.
I beg you.
Full implementation committee.
Yes,
no, we need to clarify.
No, but you are
anything about gas.
I beg you, senior.
Where Rachel
Opening. It is about getting the gas to the plants to do it. That one, Yente Moshe.
So, mobile, what was the challenge with Atuabo gas? Mobile.
There's no challenge with it. The only thing is that the reason would be to get the gas to the plants.
Okay.
You see, me bra no account about NDC4 and I say data jama NDC4. So, the PhD he knows. And I expect him to say the truth. Omo kono 2017 I Bible. Now energy sector that na 2.5 billion. You left that.
Okay.
And you know, for 8 years, if we have managed the debt to be the same way you left it, you are coming to say that we left you a debt of 2.5 billion.
$2.5 billion.
Yes.
And
no, he was quoting it just now.
Okay.
And we have managed it, kept the light on for 8 years, and the debt you come to meet is the same thing you left. Then you are talking as if say yabeja debt.
Okay, so you paid.
We maintain, yes.
I was here, and I mean,
It is never to.
2.5 billion. Senior, let's be very.
So what is the energy that you left? What is the energy that you left? Oh, yes, they left $2.5 billion and they left. We managed the thing, and it's the same amount that you come back to see. And you are creating the impression, say, MPP has contracted $2.5 billion debt that doesn't exist. Oh, we are say a legacy debt. A legacy debt because it is inclusive of all the governments. And MPP has left a debt of 2.5 billion. Okasa, you are misleading the public. What do you say? Or can't be being so about install capacity. Okay, so
Mami really were from modern Ghana. NDC left 2.1 billion Ghana cedis energy debt in 2017. Now inherited $3 billion debt. John Jinapo.
So
John Jinapo, energy minister, has revealed that the National Democratic Congress left behind a debt of 2.1 billion Ghana cedis in the energy sector when it exited office in 2017. However, he noted that the debt has now ballooned to $3 billion under the immediate past MPP administration.
That's not true.
On top of
I beg you. On top of the 3 points.
The 3 billion.
It's not true. It's not true. It's not true at all.
NDP 3 billion.
He wrote 2.5 billion. That's what he wrote.
No,
and and you said 2.5. And today now
2.5 now kind of me.
And then the man got 2.5. Now only said 3 billion and I got 2.5. But I beg you, just allow me to. Masa, omo kase install capacity ahine ade there. Masa, are they capacity to it to do what? The problem we have is not that we are short of capacity or we are short of energy, the amount of energy we need to do our business in the country. It's not that. It's not that. That's not a problem. That we have the capacity. Inti obo kokuna actually say wona NDC wako sign a IPP agreement the high capacity. Ono akan wako faba no. That's the problem. Inti enya about say obi di ebi aka ho anase obi edibie eyefrim. The idea say they add any capacity say add say no should be in the area of renewable. And no, so that we can reduce our dependence on the thermal sources and perhaps even the hydro sources, because even the hydro source, because of climate change, naturally, our dependence there will have to go down. So where we have to increase is the renewable sector, which is your PhD thesis. So you should be talking in that direction rather than promoting, you are going to build another thermal plant, there's a committee and all of that stuff. The future, gas plant, not thermal. Gas plant, I'm talking about gas plant. The future is in renewable. That's where we must go. But the point we are canvassing today, look, you are talking about 1.7 billion owed to IPPs. You need 1.1 billion to buy fuel for them. Assuming that you had signed a proper contract. Assuming you had signed a Ghana-conscious contract with these IPPs. Yes, sir. They must bear the cost. Look, I can see only one of the key things that we have to be able to ask the minister to maybe try to surveil a little bit. I don't know if there are state actors are these IPPs to monitor how they are using the fuel that we are buying for them.
Okay.
You understand? Because nipa no enye ne dia.
See, the adwuma
na the volume, how we are tracking it to show say or say asa the command no use the pepe and they are not diverting, creating all manner of things in the na buy elusu sikasa. One of the key things, yes, because see, all creative opportunities I say.
Was the SML.
So
on the SML and quality.
I go see all creative opportunity be say, nipa wono koye wejuma wo de generate me de fuel ne bebro masa
somebody should monitor
how
they use the fuel now.
And I can say the abuse there will also be a problem, but the problem I have is that contract you have signed obi eye ne juma say oba babayewe and why do you take that?
Okay.
I will create a cost Ghana unnecessarily. The truth of the matter is that I mean conclude
1 minute.
I don't like the disruptions. No, but yeah, Mr. interrupting me.
Abeba me ababa beto me dey akwasisi abedwam dey ye ba esi na akwa babiem eti omoma wi na wi but me be wi nso a me show another 1,000 Ghana cedis na also dey ato ho eti ko so star 281 hash select option 4 dodo bi apebi atwa efagum na edi efa eko happy birthday enko enfama Mary Abna Mensa oye nurse ni e obibiani. This one from your husband Brajo. Also we show happy birthday. Nyame onshira na onyo kese. Go say obeye kese pa. So Mrs. we all wish you happy birthday. Then also a happy birthday once again. Also and confirm Docas Ajele Soa, account officer at New Century Technical Institute. And I obey their show all the best. Yame koso na onyo kese kwiso so beye kese po bi odu birthday bi anso no happy birthday enko F Mau make us some more Guinness and one nyina dia to my yenu mo pastor da so be no mu a anonom de enko ade be me kam se ma nye more Guinness ennom anonom de fo bia tonke twan fa man kwada ne fashion bag mu ko school na mpani so yenye kanu anase bottle ne so yenu me kakakra se awie be bo pa no chile ne kakra bi e ma no nye ice na ko bubu akoma kakra bi na enwunu kakra bam na onya meat pie bread bi e de bosso anu anu awie me se da mu nyina ondidi kura wo ye okay Motor Guinness you can say we move da bi am so beto aka so be hwe the proudly made in Ghana stick and say bon wansana what me ato Richard under 1 minute
you see onya aseba ye ka no Minister for Energy and Green Transition on transi
okay
and then omo kasa na oma ehunu say omo na wa ba kade aye kai de ensa kire eda no I said dia afi na omo opposition omo nyai the responsibility of managing this country no eda omo so omo na ba ye na ni nansa omo increase ade to 14.75% electricity so my increase ade no na afi de ade no enya adwuma a ye ntiase de omo de ye dum so bre no enu bia na omo de ye so they increase electricity bill de bia sa mobile mahama why increases 59% in the ho who increase we so light ni yenya President Mahama say no ohu a Akufo-Addo o increase electricity ninti na otumi keep here well no aba be increase but otumi keep ade no eno na ye issue energy sector issues no onia the fuel component matter now minister Eka say cut 2.6 days and be ni ho na shortage no nsemienu one omo ane kofare bai sign a very devilish very unpatriotic contract with Obi our talker now also better fuel amanipa no nipa enso sorry our drive de bia ko bia opa bia fuel ne san aba be ka kire say fuel asa omo next sign is a bad contract no omo sign sa contract we no so the cost of electricity is very high into mamboyen. And number 2, onyai lamentation no ono na da no otu obi for say when lamented and then ono lamented chain friends and one the book of Ecclesiastes is it Solomon and the church or lamented you be but you on share na onye adwuma no
okay
na Ghana ye kan ya na esi so anso mobile no enko so ase e mesi so sa
together
I was in 1 minute bebusa menua because throughout
also bisa question
throughout the submission no kasate said your mum aban mu 80 they all can 8 years no mobile no they no mo ye farm mama concrete evidence the President Mahama Esla or the buyer are generate huge amount of money to deal with legacy debt. A gas plant buy.
But what if Esla more
aim at reducing your fuel cost or buy a second gas plant cost amongst others. Or more time, a Mary you sign a deal for $510 million for 5 years. After 5 years, plants are not by Ghana, your property. Or more buy or more review from 5 years to 15 years, paying 1.3 billion. Maybe say me busano. What justification for Saadena or more? So if they could review a Mary 5 years to 15 years, all other IPPS are yes sign. So I'm for say problem why didn't they review? And what is the justification? Say year $510 million. Now we will review my 3 times that amount for 15 years. Then him the by 15 years no na plant and then end of life. It a be the equivalent to me MY. But if the 5 years 510, then it becomes our own. And no mobile as you say or more relocation. The mobile bit me I say ye paja plant no be ana de call. Okay. Ashanti creating impression as you could see signboard as if you say or the new plant aba. And just relocation. I walk a year south. How they call middle belt. Fine. To boost energy security or energy in the middle belt. And yet we know Ashanti region as a huge industrial hub. It's a strategic decision. But when they buy and who do what the signboard above and then another one to so as if we say on the plant about. So this is the government meticulously okay say you Jinapo in Kasana on Resonyejuma. He's a well-focused minister on the ground dealing with Enra and Opa issue bar said you were just 2.6 days dangerous by the close of the day evening. Now interventions about on the finance minister, key stakeholders say she are finding solution now. Why the imminent danger? This is the man working. But it is very important. Situation there, you speak as if you were not in government. You talk about the way to go is renewable energy. 8 years. Want to me, I'm 1 megawatt. I'm a mechanic. And now this government. Ain't in a ministry, no? You change from Ministry of Energy with green transition and the green transition bit.
8 years, so man for renewable energy in Biamecano.
Oh, send on the back. Renewable send on the back. So now we have president to give focus.
I hear that.
No, to give focus. What energy minister said, we may focus on fossil fuel, thermals, and those things, but to focus on the renewable side of things. So we are now transitioning to green energy. And you have a minister. It's just 3-4 months in office. Year man a time. Now on year, at the end of 4 years, you be and you know the about renewable energy mix. And of course, other area, because the focus is to reduce our reliance on the thermal plants. And rightly so. Also hydro. In future, we don't know because of climatic conditions. So the way to go, other sources, geothermal, hydro, solar, wind. We have to explore all these resources. That is why President has created a ministry. Emphasis now shifting from the conventional sources to renewable sources.
I go see. My main correct here, Debbie. Me senior
brother. Married.
And I'm sorry. But I just want to clear as a bit.
No, but
no, I married the man, son of any problem. Because energy sector debt, one more free. what kind be said 2.1 abojina pokai Georgina pokai again no catch us again no we call back it is true the energy sector debt stood at 2.5 billion in 2017 ASAP. Okay, so only asemo kano we mean say opeso massage ade no, but this is what we have done. Or they say what we inherited we managed. And what about don't create impression say
and you left in excess of 3 billion.
No. But then I'm catching ASAP is an independent energy sector. There's a credible version. Yeah, compare this to Georgina Paul. I'll take this.
You left in excess of 3 billion. You left in excess of 3 billion. Now we are 2025. No, you are talking about 2017. I'm talking about 2025 when you were living.
Forget me. When
you were living, you left over 3 billion on top of ESLA accumulations. On top of ESLA accumulations.
Tubo, senior. Tubo. But the one again, a hundred my empty free.
I can see the ESLA generating.
Oh, Captain, just to boy.
The ESLA generating, I'm about 2 years. Most I'm better ESLA.
Say, I know.
Senior, that my mom demonstrate against ESLA. Now when you can see,
Debbie, my baby, I will be a
resistance about the man ESLA. I'm buy I'm sign bet ESLA 7 years. Sika generating on top of that. You've left over 3 billion.
They are all yes, opposition for the yes. What I say? Opposition for the yes. Oh, I bear Munti. I can't say what to Bonaka. Maybe where's the opposition for the interject. Onya.
Who are also relaxed?
But so relaxed because one hour someone about yet. What I say? America somewhere me breaking
510.
510. Waba, why inherit economy aye basa? Eh? Okay. Now you are faced with challenges. We are renegotiating to give you space. Nobody to be here. Obi akwakoye agreement bonny way. And they are sitting somewhere benefiting from this very poor agreement on my signing on behalf of Ghana.
I was 2% just say open space. O de ka 510 million. What's want to mean to have space? The amount of space ma will make you 1.3 billion.
Yes, over a period of time. And I said, okay. I won't call you. Unko loan be say o de beba na ya bo bet you say o de beba china o bet you say and yes and
so times 3
and just times 3 and so times 3 for the period 15 years.
Okay
15 years if you say 5553 no one breaking it down 500 no what you
so
because the issue we no
issue no
or exposing no
the issue no sorry say the same after 15 years na baby na machine no
end of life
Maza enti sabre no I say when you 500 now, which now when you into as well.
Oh my for money.
But life door now. When you 500 empty, I just say they are now. I was won't here.
Okay, 85, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, go. One aperture every day. 0541-278 **. 0541-278 **. It is Stuttgart. It's an area we say enne. Yehwem say sabeka the 400,000 liters of LOC. Eti dum so bien hu a ye be encounter. But we say amanfo enya light out. Ewo mo.
Oh, akwasi let us admit say energy issues no. Ye ntumi solve no one day. Me dey da bia me kan. Me hwe say ye ma ye ho up to be by the end of the year na you stabilize because issues are ye beto ye no. Okay. Akwasi let's be very honest. I always believe in that. Say obeba me constituency me ye project be conduct and say 3 months. Makache na nanom say to take 1 year because me impesa 3 months no be do na bibi abom. But situation are ye beto ye no. For me,
situation ben.
Debt ne challenges ne.
Debt no 2.5 or 2.5.
Equipment
2.5.
There be among 40 for bisasas. When we are in opposition, we know the challenges. When we come to power, we continue to lament the challenges.
No, you don't lament. You are dealing with them and you are being honest with the people.
Which is the honesty.
Because
who catch the Ghana for when you are vying for 2024 elections?
Exactly.
so ne Ghana for hwe no se enne NDC aban and MPP aban ya aba be ye ne se challenge no ka kire yente gina so de to aba de man no
so akwasi who person aban
hello, good morning.
Deliver in 5 months.
Good morning.
5 months.
Hello, good morning.
Money.
On sa count 1,000 cities.
Pajanio.
Now they say they try.
Minister Ghana.
Okay. They told you quite
I'm going to just people.
Bate. Erica, what I say? Still got better say. MP for Brokum West.
Yabaji a seat.
Champion director.
Yabaji a seat.
What?
Yabaji. Now, by a crying again, some more capra on can you propaganda. Where